keys, or any credentials which can be sensitive credentials on your behalf, because like I said, it's going to be uploaded to YouTube at the end of this for future views for anybody to be able to watch later on later times. So for anybody that's not here that doesn't know about it, David Tech also has a website called Trigger Trade. What is Trigger Trade? It is the bot connector which enables you to have TradingView to launch to your exchange. As a lot of you guys already know, inside TradingView you have got a lot of brokers which are already available but missing out on the crypto market. So David spent at the beginning of last year, end of last year with me building this platform. We include it in all of our Patreon subscriptions for anybody that wants to join in. It's a free connector. Currently we've got, as you'll see on the next page of this slide here, just let me go through, we've got Bybit already added for everybody, just a little disclaimer there, and there you go. So we've got Bybit, Binance, Bitget, BingX, which is now available as well, and at the end of this week we're also having a new partnership building in, which is Toobit. As you can see in the general chat, I did post earlier on all of our affiliation links. If you sign up with any of those affiliation links, it will give you, depending on what exchange you're signing up with, you'll be able to get reduced fees on the on tradings. For example, with BingX you get 20% reduced fees. If you use our Bybit affiliate link, you'll be able to join into any of our pool prize parties. You also get VIP status inside of the Discord. What else we've got going on at the moment? We've got Bitget, which we'll soon be doing a new campaign for us, which will be going up in the next couple of days. And for Toobit currently has a you need to send off a request to be able to API trade. By signing up with our API there, with our affiliate link, will automatically enable you to have API trading, so you don't waste time of having to send off an email, then also get back a return on them, so they enable your APIs. I just saw a message inside of Discord, let me just check that one out for you guys. Will Toobit be okay for UK? Okay, so Toobit, yes, it has. It will be okay for UK. Currently, it hasn't got any KYC, or that's why we've chosen that exchange. They've got a smaller platform, so if you have a look on CoinMarketCap, you'll see that there are smaller volumes, but still they've got promises, and they also work in partnership with a couple of other exchanges to be able to build up their volumes and to give issues as well, so reassurance on liquidities, etc. We will be asking them to come into Discord at a later date this month, hopefully, if we can get time with them to be able to sort that out. Did I resolve the BingX issue we had earlier? The BingX issue which we had earlier, which one are you talking about? Because I think the one which you were talking about was the one which Steve actually had, and we were lucky we didn't have any experience on that part. As we've got a partnership with BingX, we also have direct contact with the dev team over there, so we get faster responses than what some users can actually get. But BingX currently we've been running all afternoon, no problem. Oh, about funds, getting funds out. Me personally, I've tried it, I've tested, withdrawn the funds, haven't had any issues at all. Bear in mind I've done it on a Euro account. I will be testing later to be able to transfer into a GBP account, so I'll be able to keep you updated on that part, but currently haven't had any problem. So moving on to the next slide, so as you can see, these are all our sign up links. So we've got Toobit, Bitget, Bybit, BingX, also added in the MT4 connector there for anybody that's interested, which was due from the last stream from Sunday, which we'll be able to go over later on if anybody's interested. I'll stay at the end of this stream to be able to go through with anybody that wants any information about that. I'll just be posting, at the end of this stream, I'll be posting a link inside of the general chat for the access to this document itself, so you'll be able to watch it at a later date if anybody wants to go through any of the information, etc. And just have a text format instead of being on video for some users. I know it does help, so it will be posted in a minute for you at the end of this stream. David just posted a picture inside the Discord for anybody, so as you can see the volatility of Toobit from market cap, which he put there for us. So thank you very much, David. So what features do we offer with Trigger Trade? We offer, of course, the exchange to the connection to your exchanges. So like I said earlier on, to currently 5 different exchanges. What else do we offer? We also offer real-time notifications with Telegram, so that way you don't always have to have, if you've got on your mobile phone, for example, you haven't got your exchange installed, or if it's on your computer, for example, you don't have your page open, our connector can also send you the notifications via Telegram. It doesn't just send you what happened, or the order, the amount, it actually goes through with the exchange and sends you real-time notifications from the exchange. If there's any issues, missing funds, wrong API keys, etc. So I'll be going through all of that in a minute with you guys. Like I said during this beginning of the stream, if anybody's got any questions, please do feel free to interrupt at any time and tell me if I'm going too fast, or if you want me to take up the speed a bit more, if I'm going too slow for you. So let's just go straight over to Trigger Trade. So Trigger Trade, very simple website to start off with. Let me just log out so I go through the sign up process with everybody. So when you first go to Trigger Trade, here you can either log in if you've already got an account, if you are used to upload a connector. If not, you can always go to the sign up just here. When you click on the sign up, you put in your Discord username here, and use your Patreon email address from the same one as you use for the David Tech website and the Patreon, and behind the scenes we'll back up and check, make sure, verify and validates, and also that way we can unlock the full potential Trigger Trade by giving you unlimited trades. My internet just went gone for 2 seconds, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, if you've already got an account, you can always go straight away to log in here. So Trigger Trade backend, very simple. I hope for anybody, very user friendly, makes it easy for people to be able to use. Very simple, just a login page with a quick video of David explaining the Bybit connector. And then also here in the red tabs here, you've got our connectors. Like I said, this Toobit will be launched at the end of this week, so it's not currently a feature which is added on there, but it will be added at the end of the week. So we've got Bybit connector, Bitget connector, BingX connector, Binance connector, and also in here we've got in yellow our API encryptor. Won't be going too in depth with that this evening, but depending on if you're using our Bybit connector, here as you can see you've got the data tech strategy, and also then you've got advanced settings and other strategies here. If you're using the data tech strategy itself directly, your APIs are automatically encrypted, so it just gives you an extra layer of security in case you ever leave your computer open to public use, etc. That way you can always have like just saying, it's just an extra layer of security for you guys, so that way if someone goes onto your computer publicly and sees the alert which is set up in TradingView, well, the APIs aren't at risk, because that way it's just saved as and encrypted on our server and decrypted by the time we send it out. So if they want to use it on a different exchange, etc., or a different platform, they won't be able to. So the simple bot, we'll be going over that in a second. So here we have just a very easy field, so your API key and your secret key. So those ones you put in your original APIs from Bybit, Bitget, BingX, Binance, Toobit, any API that you want inside of there. So just here, if I was using a real API, let's just say I'm using test 123 here, and here test 123 once again. When I go and click on my generate code here, As you can see, my API keys have now been formatted, so as you can see, no one can actually guess that's test 1, 2, 3 anymore. And also here you've got a little area of code. So we're going to go move over to trading view now, and then also in that way we'll be able to explain to you how to set up a strategy with the Bitget bot and the simple bot. Has anybody got any questions so far? Yep, simple bot with Binance is currently being tested at the moment. We will be uploading a new update for it in the next couple of days as soon as we've finished testing out the last parts on it. So it's on its way. So here we've got a strategy from Bitget, which is already open for me. If we click on it, it will clog up here. Scroll right down to the bottom. So this is based on optimizer. If you've optimized your strategy, etc. So always backtest, optimize, and test your strategy before actually algo trading itself. If you're wondering how to optimize, if you're wondering any questions on how the optimization goes, or want to know how the plugin goes, I highly recommend you join on Tuesday's stream with Vlad. He has been going through the backtesters group, and also we're starting also on the Mondays to the optimizer group. So on learning how to optimize a strategy, what fields to optimize, what not to touch, and to go section by section to be able to find the best settings for everybody. So, like I was saying, we're just going to go right down the bottom here. And this is going to be the area which we're going to be interested by this evening. So here you've got the Use Simple Bot checkbox. So when we click on our Use Simple Bot checkbox, we're just going to click there like so. So we're enabling our bot itself, and this is going to be the part. So now once when that's done, once we've done we're going to select our live trading date as well. So here we're going to set as of today.
Hey, William,
Yep.
don't you need to use stop loss and take profit? Don't you need to check mark those? Because on BingX, mine was not going through if I didn't
So
check those two, or do you not have to?
that is a choice of everybody. The use safety TP and use safety stop loss is based on if you unchecked it, it bases itself on the alerts which are received from the actual trading view exchange. So that's why it doesn't set them, because often it's the actual trigger on the trading view exchange which sets it for you. So if say your sorry, I was just reading as well at the same time another message. The stop loss and take profit are generated from the actual alert itself, because like anybody which has used the advanced bot previously from Bitget, you know that there's different positions, so like positions opening and position closing. We base ourselves, if you don't check the top of TP and the SL, then also in that case it will be only from the alert which is set. If you want to have the stop loss and the take profit for an extra security in case for example trading view goes down, or there's an error between the connections, or you've changed your APIs have been revoked or within the time period of your trade, it's always a good extra to add on. Like it's written on it, it's a safety TP and a safety SL. You don't have to have them on. You can enable them at any time or chance. It's entirely up to you. That's a user experience choice, I'd say.
Right. So if you don't have them checked and you get into a trade and you look in your exchange, you will not see a stop loss or take profit set.
No,
Correct?
exactly, totally. So
Right. So
if they're not checked and you open up a trade, then all you'll have in there is just your entry price. That's it. If you select use
right,
TP and
right,
use SL, then also it sets them for you as a safety bar
right. Okay.
based on that.
Perfect. Because then if you have them set, then it's automatic and it's in the exchange. If you don't have them checked, then you're depending on TradingView to send that signal once your take profit or stop loss is hit.
Yeah, totally.
And okay, and there could be some slippage that
The,
happens
the
between TradingView, right? Just a little, maybe.
Yeah, it's mainly the whole idea was the TP and the SL. It's because seeing that when the bot sends the order through, to make it as fast as possible for the connection
Right.
within the exchange itself, as it hasn't got as much data to be able to send through, so it relies on the trading view signals at that point. But it can
Right. Perfect.
it is an option. It relays within, I think, if I remember right, with it or without, depending on the exchange, 0.08 milliseconds to 0.012 milliseconds, something
Right.
like that, roughly. But
Okay.
it's just to make the
Cool.
trade faster. With the less details it has on it, the faster it goes through, of course.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, it definitely does work. Thank you.
That's always good to hear.
Sorry, I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
Um, when setting up the simple bot, do the entry fields for API entry 1 to 2, do they need to be empty, or can they be filled in?
I'll be going through that within the next couple of seconds. It's as you can see on my screen currently. So here we just set up our trading date, etc. And then also we'll copy our code from the simple bot page here. So the Bitget strategies, and as you can see, my API and secret key have already been filled in themselves here, and that's what the part of the alert which gets sent from that part for you. So if we were to set our trading date here, so here we 18th, and put our trading time at France time here, so it would be 7:30. Remember to fill in your property tabs with your amount of capital, etc. So it trades correctly for you, so that way it trades on the amount, and you're not basing yourself on 100,000 capital by default, because if not, if you haven't got, which I hope everybody has, and I wish for everybody to have in their account, 100,000 on the Bybit or Bitget exchange, then also you'll be back to you'll be sending through the trades based on that value. So also it won't go if you haven't got that money, that amount on your liquidity on your account. Well, the trades will fail automatically. If we click on OK and save our settings here, then also just go set up an alert. So here we do a dead zone. Copy the whole of that message there, just select it all and delete it. Once again, we're just going to go back over to trading view. We're going to select the whole pasted code from here and paste it into our message alert. So as you can see here, you're probably going to get the yellow orangey colour here to say that it's a JSON. Make sure it's correct and double quotations, etc. Here everything's fine, so that's not a problem. We can put in an alert name, so that way your alert, when it goes into your log here, in case of debugging issues, you can get a message here to say what coin pair you're trading on, whatever exchange you're trading on, etc. So if you're using multiple exchanges and multiple time frames, or if you're using sub accounts, you can put any type of message in there. That's just for debugging reasons only, so it's not actually sent through the Telegram bot or notifications. It's only just inside trading view, that part is, so that's what we want on there. Here we're going to select order field only, and now we're just going to go and switch over to notifications. So here inside of notifications, if it's the first time you set up, you're going to have the webhook URL, which isn't selected, and we're just going back over to Trick Trade once again. On the left corner here you've got copy webhook. We're just going to paste that in very quickly like so. So as you can see, our Bybit default webhook is trigger underscore trade underscore simplified underscore bot hyphen v2. Couldn't have made that any shorter. And now we're just going to go and click on create. Then also, as in a minute we'll see up here, we'll have a new notification which will pop up. So here's all the alerts which are set up for us. As you can see, there you go, my one just came in there. At any time you can always pause your settings so it doesn't trigger anymore. You can always restart them depending on what you want. One thing which I didn't say is inside of the Bitget strategies, you've also got, just let me scroll back down here quickly, 2 seconds, if you don't want to have sort of the hassle to be able to pause it, if you don't want to, if for example the weekend you don't want to trade, etc. You've also got day trading. As you can see here, sessions, what days you want to trade, what times you want to trade as well. So just try to make things easier for you. So if you don't want to trade, for example, on a Friday, on a Wednesday, and on a Sunday, that's entirely up to you. You just select that, click on OK, and now that we've just reset our settings inside the strategy, we're just going to go and set up a new alert. Please do be aware that each time you change anything inside of your strategy itself, you will have to reset an alert. It doesn't automatically send it to the exchange itself. You always have to reset it to be able to get the latest data from your strategies. It just saves it in the alert message. Just let me check the messages which are in here. Simple bot start date needs to be set. It doesn't need to be set. It does need to be set 5 minutes before to 10 minutes before, depending on it. So not in that way you don't it doesn't miscalculate what your initial account settings are at that point when you start up the bot. Because if you leave it to backtest, it will go back to backtest. For example, if you've got data displayed from 2021 or 2022, for example, and if say on that strategy you'll have I don't know, say you had an initial capital of 100 USDT. Throughout the 3 years gone past, it worked its way up to say 7,000. If you don't set the trading date onto it, then Austin will work it back as if it was back in those days at the very beginning of that strategy. So imagine you've got 7,000 on that account, and Austin you won't be able to trade because you won't have liquidity. So that was going through the simple bot with exchanges. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free. Thanks for that input, David. Always important from you.
I had the question about the input fields.
Yep, sure.
What about them? Do they need to be empty, or is it not relevant?
Which input fields are you talking about? Inside of the strategy itself?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So if you're using the simple bot itself, you can leave them as they are. It's not a problem. If by default, so just let me scroll down here quickly. As you can see, mine by default, I've got them emptied here. But if it's got the original code, which I think is like check out the website for placeholders. I think it is on Bitget. To be able to give you an idea, they can just say it's not, but that's not important. They can stay with the original text in there.
All right. Okay.
The only time
and the thing that you mentioned about the starting date.
Yep.
Is it? I think for me it was a little bit too fast. Didn't get it all. So is it if I would insert like 2020 March to 2020, what would be the impact on the bot?
So basing ourselves on, so if we had an exchange which was open for, let's say we fine pointed our trading strategy on BTC, USDT for the dead zone, for example, and it gave us, like take an example, we put in our initial capital of $10, for example, here.
Mm-hmm.
We would put our capital is $10 here. So basing ourselves on the $10 capital that we've got today, if we don't put in an initial date and it's got data from 2020 or 2019, and there's been say 350 trades, so normally the account should be, with the backtesting results, the account should be up at today's date of, for example, $5,000. If you don't put in the trading date, then also you won't know that your account was set up with $10 this morning and not in 2020. So it doesn't work that way. So if not, it won't be able to send you the right quantity to be able to go to exchange. It will base itself on the 2020 data until today and not from today onwards.
Okay, understand. Mm-hmm.
So
it's also important to put the right amount of liquidity into the properties.
Okay.
So let's say I have $100 on my sub account. I need to put in $100.
Yep, totally. So you need to put in your $100 there if you're using multiple strategies, etc. So if you were running for example, you're running 3 strategies and you want to use $20 per account, so you'd also need to be setting here for your order size at 20, so it knows exactly what you're running on and also what your commission is for the exchange. So if you're using the David Tech affiliate link, for example BingX, currently we're at 0.4, and just save it, and I'll send that way and put your trading date of course to the day which is here.
Okay.
And so in that way it'll be able to work it backwards for you as of today's date and not as of the 2020 chart, because like I said, if you started off with $100 in 2020, today you could have on that account, for example, from $100 it could have been going through backtesting results and saying that all those trades were wins and you had 7,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 on that account, so your next trade will base itself on that amount of what the liquidity is on that account at that point.
Okay, got it. And another thing, inside of the properties, there's an input field for the amount that, or the percentage that I want to use for each trade. And
here, order
yep.
size?
Order size, exactly. If I have a strategy that has, I mean, there's also an input field inside of inputs, which could be set to 10%, let's say. So, and on the properties, what should I insert there? Should the amount be the same, or should it be set to let's say 100%?
For me personally, my own trading background on itself is I always work with my initial capital itself here, and also I set order size at 100% because it gives a better value for the backtesting results, and also in that way it bases itself on, so also if I'm using, for example, this strategy for a BTC, then also I put $100 on one account for BTC and also works on $100 on sub accounts, etc. I never, apart from less when I'm testing to make sure the bots are working correctly, I never actually set up I always set up sub accounts for each different trading volume and put the initial quantity of what I'm going to trade for each strategy itself. But you can put it in.
Okay.
Let's slow it down if I remember rightly for your input.
So I'm trying to question it differently. When I want to use just 10% of my liquidity for a trade, what or where do I have to enter that?
So, like David just put back in the message a minute ago, 100% in properties, and then you do the calculation itself on the input for the simple bot.
Okay,
He just replied
right.
back to me before.
Thank you, David. I didn't see the message.
No.
Thank you.
I've got one question about the leverage. You have to set in the trigger trade or both in trigger trade and the formula?
If you're using the simple bot, it takes, as you can see here with the simple bot itself, so that's the data tech strategies on for V5 versions. Everything, all the inputs, so whether it's leverages, quantity, the actual settings itself, everything is taken out of the strategy, so everything is fitted inside the strategy input tab in here. So whether you're using leverages, using the simple bot, everything's taken out of the strategy itself, so you don't actually need to put them inside the alert from a trigger trade. So just find it for you, whereabouts it is around here. Yeah, there you go, you can put your leverage here. And also just enable the simple bot and also take your leverages from the actual simple bot itself and put it into the trade and the exchange itself for you.
Thank you.
No problem. So you have the optimizer in boilerplate on your screen. Got the optimizer checkbox here. So optimizer mode, what optimizer mode does is it just makes it easier for the optimizer when you're running optimization, the optimizer plugin from David Sick up here on your Chrome extension. It just enables it, so as you can see my background's just changed. It removes all of the fields like the graphics and etc. Extra graphics just make the optimization go faster, that's all. So when you're actually testing for the first time, as of V5 it can be checked or unchecked, it's not a problem. V4 versions of, for example, Dead Zone or harmonic patterns, etc., it needs to be unchecked, but as of V5, David showed up to update the last boilerplate for it not to have any impact. Has anybody got any other questions?
Yeah, me again. I have a suggestion rather than a question.
Sure.
Is it possible to implement a kind of a trigger button into the strategy or wherever? So when you are successfully set up a strategy that so that you would be able to just trigger that bot to test if it's able to buy and sell.
Currently we don't implement that kind of strategy. David is working on something, as you can see in the messages now on his sidebar in the general chat at the moment. He's currently working on a new extension for TradingView to implement a testing service and for manual traders as well. If you just check out on the chat service on the chat on the side here, you can see it. What David's working on currently, but it won't be implemented actually in the bot. I will be going over in a minute on how to, if you want to test out your account, to make sure your account's got the correct rights, your APIs, etc., got the rights set up. We will be going over in a minute how to set up with Postman to be able to test and trigger a trade to make sure that your account has got a switched to hedge mode, for example, on Bybit, that your funds are in the correct account, etc., or if not, it will return messages to you on trigger trade on the Telegram bot.
Cool, that's very good, because otherwise you have to wait for the bot to trigger, and that could that could take days. Let's say 3 days, and after 3 days you realize that the bot doesn't work. So it could be very time consuming.
So there is an alternative if you want to test out without using Postman. If you want to test out, make sure the TradingView is working correctly. The way that I do it to test out when we do updates with David is just set your stop losses and take profits here just to 0.1 on each one of them. This is just for a quick test on each example. But you'll take profit as here as fixed percentage. Your stop loss also as fixed percentage, and I'll send put yourself down on the lowest time frame you can imagine. And I'll send that way. Generally, it will trigger a lot more alerts within a short period of time, just to be able to have a test to make sure that it connects correctly for you, your account's properly set up, and your APIs are properly encoded, that they are not just set as read per permissions, and they are with read and write, that the funds are in the right account, and that's a very easy, simple alternative way if you want to just be able to test, make sure that the bot works correctly, and that you've got all the fields you need.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Another question: where do you change the date time frame for backtesting?
For backtesting, so you've got if you've got a premium account here, you've got your deep backtester as well, which you can enable here. Then I'll say that way you can change your date here for the reports for the day.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't have deep backtesting.
Ah bah va falloir prendre
Okay.
le Premium Pro.
Okay. Okay.
there any more questions? Seems like no, so let's just go, let me just open up Postman quickly, and also we'll go through on how to set up a Postman bot very quickly with everybody for testing strategies. Just to make sure the connections, like I was saying a minute ago, was connected correctly. So I've just gone off screen quickly just so I can log in. I wasn't sure if I was logged on that one. Can everybody see my stream still okay? Okay, cool. So as you can see here, I'm just going to go very quickly for Bybit, for example. Setting up Postman, all you have to do is go to postman.com and also sign up for an account, and using the trigger trade, so once we set up, so if I was going to go for a new collection, here you click up here, a blank collection there, so as you can see it opens up a new folder. Here we're going to add a request, change that to post, which is going to drop it in this drop down here. Now we're going to go back over to our trigger trade website, so if we're using BingX, Bybit, etc. So here I'm going to be using Bybit. For testing purposes, here we're going to go over to advanced settings. Inside the advanced settings, what it is the full message which sends from the simple bot from the exchange to you. So just very quickly for you, so here we're just going to go and copy our long message, so here you fill in your API and secret key like you've done previously. And just, this is a very quick overview on it for you which want to test out. So you just click on body, click on the raw, we're just going to change this drop down to JSON. Here, as you can see here, I've got all my code which was generated from the Trigger Trade website. Here we'll be changing our symbol to any coin pair which we were going to test. So if we're using BTC USDT, for example, we've got our quantity and percentage, so we've got set as 2, so that means it's a fixed amount. We'd set all of our leverages, etc. Open our long position, and here we're just going to remove all of the placeholders which is here, just to prevent the bot from crashing, because as it hasn't got any figures, because those are the fields which are filled out by the daily text strategies, which are also known as placeholders. Also it just replaces it with the values which are sent from the bot itself. We go back up to over to Trigger Trade, copy in our webhook URL, and we just paste it here. Click on our save button up here for later dates if we want to test it out in future, and also you just click send, and also when it sends through, you'll get through a confirmation on the exchange for it to work on future dates. So just test it, make sure. Just let me switch over to here. 2 seconds. Sorry guys, once again, just switching off screen very quickly. So there you go. See now. So here I've got my APIs, etc. setting in that account, on a testnet account. So very quickly here, as you can see, I'll be testing on BTC USDT with a 20. When I click on send, it'll send through a message. If I've got Telegram bot enabled, it'll send me through a Telegram message. And then I'll then messed up. So just 2 seconds, make sure it goes through. Okay, no problem. Make sure I filled out. I didn't put in the wrong APIs anyway. Set that account. So if I was, whilst I'm online, I might as well go through this as well. If I'm going to go and set an API, here you go, APIs. Create a new API, self-generated APIs here. Here we'd set our API to read and write. put in any message you want here. Trigger trade, for example. We'll put today's date, 18/10. Read and write permissions. Here we want to set them to. If you don't set any API restrictions, API restriction, that means that your API will expire after 90 days. So if you forget in the future to update your APIs, etc. for your bot, after 90 days your bot will become invalid, so it won't be able to place any trades. So if not, just go to only IP addresses with granted permissions. And here we're just going to go over to open up this page here, open up a new page, go to faq.trigger.trade. Go into our search answers here and just write IP. When we get our IP here, copy out that code there. So you've got the following IP in the grey box here. And we'll just go and around here and put in our IP. For your account verifications, here we're just going to select standard account like so. So we've got orders, positions, copy trading, don't need to because we're using the bot. USDC derivatives we don't need, so we want it to be able to trade for us. And me personally, I just leave the assets closed, so that way I'm not worried in case somebody ever sees my APIs, etc. They can't withdraw my funds. The best thing they can do is set up a strategy for me with just some winning trades, which will be nice of them. Click on submit, and once we submit, we've got to go through Google authentication. Also, will generate an API and a secret key for you, exactly in the same way as any other exchange does. So when you're using Bybit, Bitget, Binance, etc., everything you're all the same on that part. So there you go. Has anybody got any other questions? Oh, just lost the page, where else is it there? General query, would I recommend a new sub account for each strategy or each crypto pair? Yes, personally I would, because especially if you're using multiple strategies on the same coin pair, whether it's Bybit, Bitget, BingX, etc. When they're opening orders, they just stack up on orders. So if you've got an entry at 24,000, an entry 26,000 for BTC, it'll convert it all over to 26,000, etc. So it can become quite confusing when you're looking for it, and also that way you can also know whether which strategy is more profitable, and if your account increases in its volume. That way you know if it's, for example, the dead zone which is working, or whether it's harmonic patterns, or whether it's the squeezy momentum, etc. So highly recommend using sub accounts for each crypto pair and each strategy. So going over very quickly, like I said, is just to finish off today's stream. Like I said, I'll be publishing now. Just let me copy that out. If anybody wants to keep it for later, or to be able to read later, I've just put in the general chat, which you can find up in the top right corner, the Google Sheet document, which I used as a template today. So nice, you can go through it and read how to add strategies. You can also find all our affiliate links inside of it, etc. So just to keep you updated. Like I said, if you've got any questions or need any support anytime, feel free just to identify me in general chat, DM me. I do these once a week, but the rest of the week I also can do one-on-one setups for users if they need any help, if you want to troubleshoot on some issues, etc. And also highly recommend, as you can see on my screen, you've got the Telegram bot, which is enabled, which is a great extra feature which we've added on. So it gives you all of the messages from the exchange which send back to you, which are server-side messages. If you do not have that enabled, debugging can sometimes be quite hard, because at Trigger Trade we don't store any APIs, we don't store any secret keys, we don't store any data. So as soon as the trade has gone from your trading view account sent to our server and also sent to the exchange. Our bot refreshes and just cleans everything off. We should make a short checklist for setting up a bot on TradingView. So if you go over to the members.david.tech website, just go and log in. I don't know how my name's spelled anymore. I put 3 L's instead of 2, so didn't want to be in there for a second. There you go. Back on now for you. So if you go straight away to the members.david.tech and also you scroll down here, you can see trigger trade, and here you have all of the how to use SimpleBot, a step-by-step guide on what to do, how to set up your Bybit account, how to set up the mainnet, the testnet. For other strategies done, David Tech, you've also got all the conditional pyramiding, etc. experiment. And we've also got the whitelist IP. You've also got the SimpleBot, how to use the Telegram function. Also the step-by-step on how to trade with Postman, like I was showing you earlier on during this live session. Understand the JSON script so you can understand what functions mean what inside of the JSON, because it can be a bit confusing sometimes. How to set up leverage, dynamic leverage, etc. I've done as much documentation as I can think of, but anyone that wishes anything else, or like I said, it's just DM me in the general chat, identify me, identify David, identify Vlad, and also in that way we can keep track on what needs to be done and what makes it easy for your user experience. No problem at all. Has anybody got any other questions? Right, if nobody's got any other questions, I'll stop recording, and then ask them if anybody wants to talk about anything outside of trigger trade or to go with on it. Just feel free. And stop the questions. Thanks for everybody for joining this evening. I hope it was interesting for everybody, and I managed to answer any questions or any doubts which we was doing, which was wondering about how to use SimpleBot or David Tech strategies. I'll be online for the next couple of hours anyway, so if you've got any questions, feel free to DM me inside of the chat.